Well, hey guys, welcome to another Friday live stream. Thanks for hopping on wherever you may be in this wonderful world. I'm excited to get to do some live stream reviews and just talk church tech stuff with you and clear my throat. Sorry about that. How are you guys doing today? Let's see who's hopping on the live stream today. We got AJ jumping in. Let me switch this over where I can see it. Hey, we are waiting, and now we are beginning. So thanks for sticking around. Michael says, hey, Ryland, super excited to have you review our church's stream. Our team is pumped too. Looking forward to reviewing your pointers as a production team. Awesome, Michael. What church are you with? And then I'll make sure that we get to that one. Mr. Fisher from Huntington Beach in the house. As usual, we got Charles. You guys are some of the faithfuls here. Tobias. Or Tobias. I never know which one to say, man. I've known both. Greetings from Germany. That's awesome. Who else we got here? Hector from Tijuana. Awesome. And then, before I've even said a word, we got Anson in the house with the super chat. Wow. Awesome, dude. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being you. That's awesome. And he says, hey, mate, greetings from the other side of the globe. Very cool. Man, we got people from all over the world on here, from Brazil to Germany to Australia, all over the place. And man, it's just so cool to have you guys jumping on the live stream today. It's going to be a fun one. And we're going to just take a little bit of time here at the beginning that, you know, we'll talk church tech stuff. If there's anything that you've been seeing that's going on that you think is interesting, if you have any questions or you just want to bounce some ideas off of the hive mind that is the Friday live stream group, go ahead and drop those in the chat. If you want to get your live stream reviewed, you can still do that. There's a link in the description of this video that Google form is still open. I think right now there's 22 on there, so there's absolutely no way we're going to get to all of those today. But as I always say, I can be bought. So if you want to super chat, just even a couple bucks to get yours pushed up to the front, I'm not above that. Got to feed those babies. So Anson, if you submitted a live stream, make sure and put your church's name in the chat, and I'll make sure to hit that one first if I can. So, man, a lot of interesting stuff has been happening in my life. Been doing a lot of YouTube videos, so hopefully you've enjoyed those last couple that I've put out. Let's see, the previous one was just about budget fluid heads that I've been trying. That's something that we're trying to take to the next level in our live stream. We focused a lot on the worship time, and it's funny because when it comes to the preaching time, which is probably actually watched a lot more than the worship long-term wise, we hadn't put as much effort into that. And so I kind of went on a little journey of researching what's the best budget fluid head, because dang, you can get some expensive ones out there. And so if you haven't watched that video, go watch that after this live stream. And we're happy with the one we chose now. I think it was like $175 from Manfrotto. Yeah. And then the video before that was, I'm trying to remember. Oh, digital signage. Yeah, so just a free way to do digital signage in your church. If you haven't checked that out, go look at it. And if there's other ways that you guys know about, comment below for free digital signage. Man, digital signage is another way that companies can really get you. Like, you get signed up, you get set up, and then you realize it's like $20 per screen per month just to run like announcements on it. So this is all wireless. Like, if you can go wired, just do that. But yeah, that's using Proclaim's free digital signage. So kind of an interesting take on that. Here's a good question right here. Did you already speak about the on the SDI ATEM Mini? So man, yeah, I haven't really. I put a thing in the community tab about that the day it was released, like the morning it was released. Just like, wow, this is a big deal, right? And the more I've looked at it, the more that it still just doesn't meet everything that I want. I think, in my opinion, it's a great solution for churches that have SDI cameras. I think that the best thing that they could come out with, which I just don't know if they're going to because it would probably cannibalize their other stuff. I really just want the old school ATEM Studio HDs like we have, that has the 4 HDMIs, the 4 SDIs, but because I don't need SDI for everything, right? Like we have, most of our cameras are HDMI. The only reason I need SDI is long runs, and then you wouldn't have to have another converter box. So I'd love for it to have 10 inputs like the Constellation has, but I want it to do live encoding. I want it to record. I want it to have super source. And then I do love, I think it had that new SDI model. Doesn't it have like 6 outputs though? Or maybe 4 outputs. That's big. Like I think for a lot of churches, it is a step above what I've got right over here, the ATEM Mini Extreme, just because of those extra outputs. Like it may be worth it to go ahead and go that route instead of the ATEM Mini Extreme. But I also like the rack mountable kind of solutions too. So I think it's a very good option. And then even the step below that mid tier where it's only got the 4, but it does ISO recording and stuff, that might be interesting. But yeah, that was big news for sure. Yeah, Charles says commercial digital signage is stupid expensive. Yes, it is. Yeah, and I would definitely, one thing I didn't talk about in that video about digital signage is, in my experience going with the commercial displays, that used to be a thing that I thought I had to do. Like, we haven't bought a single commercial display, and I think we have about 20 TVs in our hallway loop. They're literally the cheapest, like Scepter TVs for the most part from Sam's Club or Walmart. And we leave them on 24/7. And, you know, the failure rate, we've had one fail in the last, I think I bought that one maybe 8 or 9 years ago. So the failure rate's so low that the cost, like you can just go buy another one. Those commercial displays are so expensive, you know. The only thing is, I think maybe if you want to do like portrait orientation, you might have to look into that. I'm not sure. Software may be able to handle that for you. But yeah, I just think the cost savings, it's so much smarter just to get normal TVs. Yeah. Well, looky here. Dustin Thompson in the house. We go way back. Hey, Dustin, thanks for hopping on the live stream today. Daniel, I don't know if it's a comment or question here. Let's see. We run our system on NDI. It requires an encoder at the camera, but then you put stuff wherever you want. Okay, Wirecast does all the decoding, encoding, layering of the stream. Okay, that's an interesting way to go about it. NDI is not something I've really delved into. Is that the right word? Delved? Gotten into? It seems interesting. I just don't, I don't know. I've never really trusted like the network camera protocol stuff, but maybe it's very like strong and trustworthy. I know it's becoming more and more of a thing. So I just like having it hardwired if I can. But yeah, if it's working for you, that's great. Something else that I'll probably be making a video about, that if you haven't seen it yet, is the new update to Propresenter. If you use Propresenter, they came out with an update recently. I always hold off on actually doing the update until a few weeks later, but I always run it here on my MacBook, but not in the worship center, just to test it out. But it's very interesting because about, I'd say 8 months ago, on the private group that I'm a part of with Propresenter, because I've made videos talking about things I didn't like, so they approached me and they're like, hey, would you be in our little private group so, you know, you can tell us things or give us feedback? And so, which is great. They announced it on there, but about 8 months ago on that group, I just posted like a feature request with like this. I made this image of like what I wish the timeline could do in Propresenter. So that way we could utilize Propresenter as almost a standalone thing and not have to have you know, other things firing cues into Propresenter. So I had like a multi-layer timeline with different lanes for different things. And lo and behold, if you've looked at it recently, it's basically exactly what I suggested, which is amazing. And so there's still some issues with it, I think. And especially I've heard some Decklink Duo issues where like after an hour, it's like cutting off the signal and stuff. So certain people have had that issue, but I'm really excited about that timeline thing. If you've watched any of the way we do things around here, I do utilize the timeline for a lot of things, and having that those separate lanes for like MIDI notes or audience looks that aren't dependent on like having slides in there is going to be huge for us. And the fact that you can add a video now into the timeline, you know, used to you couldn't do that. So very, very interesting upgrade to Propresenter. So I'm excited to try that out. I know it's a terrible idea to upgrade Propresenter on Sunday mornings, but you only live once and upgrade it anyways. Oh, yeah, and then shocked whenever it breaks mid-service. That's funny. Yeah, some interesting comments here in the chat. Well, if you guys have any just worship tech questions, anything that you've been wondering about, maybe something you're thinking about upgrading and you have a question about, you can always drop that in the chat during this live stream. But you can also, if you are ever interested in just chatting one-on-one with me, there's a link in the description where you can do that. I just set up Zoom meetings, and they're pretty affordable, I think, for the value that I hope that you get from those. And so you can check that out, but feel free to drop any question you have in the live chat. We're going to be going till about noon today with the live stream reviews. And so I'll just kind of peek back over at the comments in between these live stream reviews and just see if you have any questions. And if not, then we'll just keep rolling with these reviews. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to dive into it. So I believe we have that super chat. And I think he told me what church he was with. So we're going to hit that first. Let's see. I should have started that. There we go. Faith Community Church. Cool. All right, let's hop over there and find her. So you can see we have 22 already submitted here. So let's kind of see where you're at in this list. Faith Community Church. Okay, not too far from the top. That's weird. Oh. I don't know how to use Google Forms. Oh, goodness gracious, fellas. Let's go. Faith Community Church, Perth. All right, let's see what you got here for your setup. You got Ursa broadcasts, nice. Are they the old school Ursas with Canon, some kind of model there for the main follow cams? Are those bird dog cams? I don't know what that model number is, but that's okay. The 7200 Cines. Pocket 6Ks for drums and key sliders, micro studios for wide shot. Okay, so you got some really good cameras and lenses going on. Constellation 8K with the 2ME, Web Presenter HD 1080/60. Okay, up at the 15 megabytes per second. His audio is mixed on the D Live, and program is fed matrix out. Okay, and then processed in Wave Super Rack with all that stuff, ambient mics. And then they kind of monitor the online mix pre-service. Please be as critical as you'd like. Always great to get a fresh perspective. All right, and he wants the most help on the audio mix, but let's just kind of look at these, and we're going to give him some feedback. So thanks for submitting it. Thank you for giving all those details. That really helps, honestly, to know what's going on. Uh-oh, this video is private. Let's just see if I can pull up just by their church. I'm guessing.
Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. We're so glad to have you.
Is this it? Faith Community Church. I'm hoping so. Is this one it? Sorry. We pull the stream after the week is done. Just let me know if I'm on the right one here. Probably this one right here.
Welcome to Insights, where we have conversations about different topics in today's culture and society.
Anson, am I on the right? I don't think so, man. Okay, well, if you can post, I don't know what to do, man. Sorry, yeah, I can't get to the link, and I'm not sure that this is actually your channel. So, all right, we'll try again in a minute. If you can shoot me a DM or something like that. He says, sorry, there's a lot of content. Yeah, you guys are posting a bunch. Worship Sunday live stream. Is this it? I think this might be it. Good morning, church. I just need to know that it's Faith Community Perth. Is this good content? That's it. All right, here we go then. We're doing this. Let's go over here to theater mode. Here we go, fellas. Volume up.
Good morning, church. What are you standing to your feet this morning? Are we excited to worship God, the one who's so loving and kind? Are we ready to declare His goodness over our lives this morning? So, church, be ready. Let's lift our voices. Let's give Him praise. Come on, let's worship Him.
Got the slider.
Come all you weary, come all you thirsty, come to the well that never runs dry.
I like the framing. I like the color. Looks pretty solid here. I like that you opened up with a wide shot and then immediately went into that girl talking. You guys had obviously planned that out. You knew who was going to be doing the opening, so you had cameras ready to go on them. And then she wasn't even the one leading the song, and you were ready to go with him leading. Now you got a nice pull out, little side angle cam stuff. Let's listen a little bit and watch.
For God so loved the world that He gave us His one and only Son to save us. Whoever believes in Him will live forever.
It sounded pretty good to me. The only thing I'm missing, and I'm just was wondering if it was my ears or what, I need a little more low end, like just that kick and bass maybe. You obviously are rocking an LED screen here, and you got some really bright stuff going on it. And I don't know what brightness you're running at that. Most of the guys, like I did a tech tour yesterday that's coming out soon of a church, and they were talking about, you know, they have to run theirs on like 20% brightness or else cameras are overexposing it, and it's just like the brightest thing in the image.
Bring all your failures. Bring all your failures. Bring your addictions. Come lay them down at the foot of the cross. Jesus is waiting there with all.
I like the movement that you've incorporated into these. The ones you have on sticks, you're using panning and zooming, and then you've got your little sliders rocking on different stuff. I like the variation in like your tight shots and your wide shots. Pacing's pretty good for this song.
Open arms, see His own.
I will say the lyrics are a little small, in my opinion, on the video. Just your overlay there, in my opinion.
For God so loved the world that He gave us His one and only
That's
Son
nice.
to save us. Whoever believes in Him.
It's like I'm hearing a lot of cymbals, and I really want, you know, your drums, you need the kick and the snare to have that foundation that's keeping everything together. And I'm okay with a little less cymbals sometimes in the live stream mix. I like that I can hear your electric guitarists. Your vocals are mixed pretty well. You have a lot of vocalists, so that's probably a challenge.
We'll live forever.
It's a good shot.
The power of hell forever defeated. Now it is well. I'm walking in freedom, for God so loved the world.
Praise God.
All right, there you go. That's always tough on video directors when you change who's leading the song. It's like, which one's got it? And then you were ready to go for her. That's great.
From whom all blessings flow, and praise him, and praise
Slow pull out, that's really nice.
him for the wonders of his love. And praise God, from whom all blessings.
What are you guys hearing as far as just the audio mix on y'all's end? What kind of feedback can you guys give? Low end is a little light. Okay. All right, let's hear this drop out.
For God so loved the world that he gave us his one and only Son to save. For God so
That was great. You knew that drum fill was coming and you hit right to the drum fill. You're doing a lot of things right. I did hear that your vocalists were trying to get ahead of the click there a little bit, so gotta love that. But they settled right back into it. That's good. You're doing a lot of things really, really well. Let's go to a different part of the song service and just listen a little bit.
ages step down from glory to wear my sin and then my shame.
Not sure about that shot.
The cross has spoken, I am forgiven. The King of Kings calls me his own. Beautiful
There you go. They were probably getting ready for that.
I'm yours forever. Jesus Christ, my living
Toms actually sound pretty good. But even like these backgrounds that you're using on that LED screen, they probably look amazing in person, but it's just so overexposed on camera. So that's that battle of like, you've got this really bright screen, but then you have to bring your key light up even more. So I don't know.
Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have
Yeah, I'm hearing the snare better now in this song. So maybe like you're saying, you kind of keep it down during that first song. A lot of churches do that. We do that too. But we're doing that mainly with the main volume usually, not like the drum mix. But I understand, yeah, letting it kind of ramp in energy-wise. Yeah, you're seeing some comments hopefully there in the chat that is helpful. I think the battle with this many vocalists for me is always trying to make it sound like it's not a bunch of vocals on top of everything. And it sounds like you're utilizing panning and everything like that as best you can. And I'm interested though, with all this panning, it's not being monitored. So, you know, you're switching up who's leading different songs. So hopefully you're not panning them too much, so it doesn't sound weird whenever they come in leading other songs. But you guys are doing a great job. Let's watch just a little bit more, and then we'll go on to the next live stream review.
broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope.
Love this song. One of my faves.
The roaring lion declare the grave has no claim on me. Come on, we can declare this together. Come on, let's sing it out. Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your very body.
You might experiment with maybe moving your slider even a little bit closer to the drums just to accentuate that movement more. That's one thing that we've tried to do. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on, I don't know. But having it closer to anything in the foreground is just going to accentuate that movement, you know, that slider a little bit more. But I like that your people aren't staring at music stands. They are engaged. Even the people in the back are into this and being part of leading the worship. That's so awesome. So props to you guys there. Appreciate you submitting, and thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. So speaking of super chats, we've got one here from Mr. Fisher, $10. Awesome. Now I can't remember which church you're at, Larry. So if you submitted, put your church name in here. If I can't find you, we'll find it here in just a second. Thank you, though. You guys are too kind, and it really does help. YouTube for me is really just, it's supplemental income that I can use to just help my family out. And for instance, you guys, some people have been buying some things on Amazon using my links, and that just goes so far. It helps me out. It doesn't cost you guys anything else, but you know, somebody bought like a $3,500 Hollyland system to do talkback with using one of my links, and I get a 4%, you know, cut on that. And so, you know, when your dog has to have ACL replacement and your van's overheating like it was this last week, and all kinds of things, those little things help. So I really appreciate that. Larry, let me see if I can find you in here. No review this week. Oh, thanks, dude. Yes, we did chat via email, and because he signed up for the email stuff through just different things that I've offered, and we kind of chatted about that. Some interesting Propresenter oddities, which always seem to happen. So we're going to go back up to the top here, and hopefully you guys are in the house if we're reviewing these. Hector, they're using Blackmagic Cameras Livestream Studio 6 software. So he didn't say which Blackmagic cameras, but that's okay. But you know, even knowing like what lenses you were using, different things like that would be helpful, but that's okay. We'll look and see here. We got the countdown going.
Buenos días, familia. Le invito a que se ponga de pie. Le demos un aplauso a Cristo y vamos a adorar.
All right, here we go.
Delo fuerte. Jesús está aquí. Vamos.
I'd say initially your overall live stream volume is not as loud as what I'm usually typically shooting for. We'll see if that improves later on in the stream. So we've been on just this one shot here. You got your LED wall back behind. I kind of like your stage setup here. It's neat. You got your three vocalists out here engaging. Let's listen. Yeah, I feel like it could be louder. Let's see if you have any other cameras. Okay, here's our second camera angle. And you got to triple check that focus. It looks pretty good now. May have just been loading on my end the higher resolution. What are we at here? What are we streaming at? I can't see. 720. Let's go back up to 1080. Come on. All right, so I would just say try to match the music when you're cutting stuff, especially for high energy songs like this. I don't like using dissolves between the cameras. The only time I like using dissolves is slow songs where it kind of fits the vibe. But as soon as you're hitting into those instrumentalists, you know, you're going to different shots that show those instrumentalists going. I like the waist up shot here that you got on him. That's a nice shot. If you're on stick, something that people do that I like is kind of do this little, what's that called, where you're kind of like figure eighting with them a little bit, so it has a little bit of motion, where you're still on the sticks. It's not just a static shot. It's kind of a next level operator type thing, but I really like it when people can do that if they're on sticks. All right, got your bass player there. It's not a bad shot. I like the filling of the background with your LED wall on these shots. I'm not sure what LED wall you have, but I'm seeing a little bit of like moire and some different lines in it on those close-ups. So that's, if you can get a, I don't know how to solve that, higher depth of field lens, like a shallower depth of field. Not bad. I don't see where your drums are. Do you have a drummer? If he has a drummer, I haven't seen that drummer. So I don't know if that's in the tracks or... I will say between those two cameras though, the white balance looks pretty decent. I don't know though. Sometimes I hesitate to give color thoughts because I'm watching this on a TV and it's not like color balanced, you know, so I'll peek down here at my MacBook sometimes. It looks pretty good. I love shots like that where you can see through the audience. That's great. It just makes me feel like this shot right here, I'm definitely like watching the stream, where the shots through the crowd just kind of make you feel like you're more a part of the audience in the church. So there you go. It's a great shot of the pianist. You guys are doing some good stuff for sure. I haven't seen a super wide shot just to like establish this church for me. I have no idea how big this place is. Is there 100 people here or is there 1,000 people here? So I like to just throw those shots in there every once in a while. So let's just peek over real quick at the teaching time and see how you guys are doing that. He looks really good on cam right there. Very nice. So you're following. See, even this shot right here, I feel like it's too high. Like it looks like I'm looking down at him, which is okay. It's not too high, but if this was down more where it's straight on, you want the camera about head level of the presenter is what I've been told. So I don't know. Nice lower thirds. Look at that. That looks great, guys. Now that shot right there, that I would stick with this shot 90% of the time during your teaching time. Maybe 90%, but that right there is probably your best shot. And it looks like you're doing follow cam stuff with that, so that's great. That's the kind of stuff we're trying to do a little bit better at. Our guy moves a lot. I love that you got this rug there. Maybe that can kind of like solve some of those walking issues where it's like, hey, stay on the rug, pastor. All right, well, I hope that you found that helpful. And we got some more love in the chat. Appreciate all that you do, bro. We're with Church of Emmanuel in Foxborough. What's MA? Is that Massachusetts? It would have to be, right? Yeah, I think so. And then also, Daniel, awesome Sunday coffee. I get lots of good ideas or tips to implement from watching these. That's so cool. That is my hope, and I really appreciate it, Daniel. All right, so let's look for Church of Emmanuel, and we'll pull that up and go over theirs next. Let me delete this one. You are deleted. All right. You said Church of Emmanuel. I love somebody put Central Baptist Owasso and outlined literally my whole system. Nathan did. I was like, wow, they've really been watching my videos. We should review them. Oh, there you are, Church of Emmanuel, Michael Webb. All right, here's his setup. They have 2 cameras mounted back at the booth, which are Canon XA35s. Our side shot is a Sony a7 III with a 50mm. All 3 of these are totally static right now, okay? 3 cameras as well as Propresenter feed into ATEM, and then it goes to Resi, okay? For audio, they're doing their house and stream mixes on the same board, Allen and Heath GLD 112. Some weeks we have a second audio engineer mixing on an iPad in a separate room. That's a good way to kind of go about it. But this particular Sunday, we only had 1. And then he double dipped for both of those. All right, so we'll give him some feedback here on cameras. And remember, he said these are all static cams, XA35 and Sony a7 III. I'm curious to see if the a7 III is going to look just so much better than the XA35. So let's just take a look here and see, Michael. Here we go.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Wait, I've done that so often. Mic's off. Oh, I love it.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
I've done that so many times. You gotta, it's like that 1 minute countdown checklist that I have now. It's like a chugga on my acoustic and a in the microphone. But sometimes there's so much going on that you just forget, and then you're like, good morning, and your mic's not on.
It's a great day to worship the Lord. Let's stand and we'll sing together.
So, okay, you said that you got 2 XA35s in the booth. Let's just listen and watch.
Let's sing Don't Lose Heart, oh my soul. Oh, don't lose heart, oh my soul, oh my soul. Don't give up, there is hope, there is always hope.
I would say right off the bat, it's very clean sounding and a good solid sound. Your band, I think, is great. Mix wise for audio, so you said that you had one guy doing both this time, but I would say your vocal's a little too out front, and it sounds like it's on top of everything else, which is very common in our church live streams because the vocal is very important. You need to be able to understand the words and for people to be able to follow along and worship along. But I would back that off a little bit, and if you don't have audience mics, I don't think you said anything about that. That would be a great thing to incorporate into your live stream mix, just to add some of that live feel. Right now, it's very studio sounding.
There is peace in the storm. And there is peace in the storm, in the storm. Don't forget, He is Lord. He is Lord of all.
Tight band, though.
Come on, let's sing this together. There is a King of glory. There is a God who saves. One.
So that must be the Sony a7 III, because I'm seeing that depth of field there where it's focused on that your lead player up front.
Who is strong and mighty. Freedom is in His name. Open the gates of heaven. Lift up a shout of praise. There is a lion roaring. Jesus, the King of glory. So lift your eyes, stand in awe, stand in awe. There is one.
So yeah, that shot looks great. Let's just peek around between these these three shots and see if they match pretty well. So here, I think that's the Sony, if I'm guessing correctly. And then here's our front. So we've got, honestly, it looks really good. You've done a pretty good job there of matching your cameras. That's a good close-up. Yeah, they match pretty well. I can't tell for sure if they're a little on the purplish side, but that may just be all of your LEDs kind of just, you know, washing around too. It looks pretty solid. This was our all-time mostly played song in 2021.
Who is this King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty. The Lord, mighty in battle. Let's sing this together. There is a King of glory, and there is a God who saves, and that's Jesus. Here we go. There is a King of glory. There is a God who saves. One who is strong and mighty. Freedom is in his name.
So when you only have 3 cameras and they're static, you really have to lean into directing with a purpose, as far as, like, in my opinion, to make it translate better online. You know, you're looking for those cut times to match into the song the best way that you can. As soon as they're hitting those drum breakdowns or they're hitting into a new chorus, you're matching that energy with your camera switching. So it looks like you got, with your XA35s, the ability to, you know, zoom in and out and do different things. If you don't, that was something I would definitely try to take advantage of. Let's just fast forward into this next song. Doing a little worship welcome there. That's great. Here we go. I mean, I would say the next thing that I would look at adding is a drum cam of some sort, just because that helps so much on instrumental times like this, where it's not just like this random, we're just watching the guy strum. And it adds so much more energy to your stream. You know, throw a drum cam on a slider, and it doesn't have to be a super expensive camera. All right.
See what a savior.
Everything seems a little sibilant to me. What do you guys think in the chat? I mean, is the top end a little sibilant for you?
See how his love overcomes. He has some great things. He has some great things. Come on. Oh, hero of heaven, you conquered the grave. You freed every captive.
I like your lower thirds there. Those look really nice.
You have done great things. We dance your freedom, awake and alive. Oh,
Cut.
Jesus, our Savior, your name lifted high, oh God. You have done great things. You've been faithful through every storm.
Yeah, I would just say maybe you're seeing some comments maybe there about talking about doing a de-esser. I don't know if the GLD Allen and Heath one has that on there. Just be careful about that. It seems a little sibilant to me. And those are the things that people, instead of saying, like, they don't know how to say the top end is too high, it's like, it's just too loud, or, you know, it's not comfortable to listen to. So hopefully in your room it's not translating that way. Sometimes what's happening is maybe your PA, you're having to compensate and add a little bit of that sparkle on top. And so then your live stream is being affected when we don't need that being added. So I've had that happen in certain cases in different places. So yeah, man, hopefully those things help you out. Thank you for submitting, and thank you to the guys in the chat for adding some thoughts. We have another super chat. Wow, Ernest, thank you so much, man. He says, we bless you from Dallas. Greatly appreciated. Ernest, if you have a live stream that that you've submitted. Please let me know which church you're with there. And I will make sure and get to yours if you submitted a live stream. If not, thank you so much. Yeah, there's some other good thoughts here in the chat that I'm seeing. Awesome. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you submitting. Hey, we got another super chat. Rivers Crossing. Any feedback is welcome. Pick it apart. Chat as well. All right. Well, let's see. Ernest, make sure that if you did submit a live stream, post that in the chat, which church you're with, and I'll make sure and get to yours next. Let's hit up Rivers Crossing and check out their stream. Yeah, I thought about, I need to have like one of my buddies on here and let him be like the really mean guy that is really picking apart, roasting, your live streams. And because I totally get the struggle. Like, the struggle is real, and we're doing the very best we can. And all we get is negative feedback as tech guys, it seems like. Before we do this next one, let me just share with you. I got this little note on my desk earlier this week, and it says, "I thank God as I remember you." It says, "You have touched so many with the love of music and showing God's love." Okay, thank you. "You are such an asset to make Central come alive." Thank you. "Although the music gets a wee bit loud at times, but do keep us rejoicing to the Lord. Love ya." Like, they just had to throw that little, the music does get a wee bit loud sometimes. But hey, they wrote me 3 nice sentences. It was a praise sandwich with just a little thought there in the middle. So, but I want to encourage you guys and offer feedback and constructive stuff as well. So here we go with Rivers Crossing. Here's their setup. Canon C300, 2 in the center booth, 1 Dana Dolly, 2 roamers. Holy moly. Standard glass. Could use 1 more 70 to 200 for the house roamer. Constellation 8K 4ME. Okay, with the old 4ME switcher. Propresenter for graphics and slides. Broadcast audio running Logic by the monitor engineer. Awesome, dude. Okay, so they got a sweet setup, it sounds like. Let's check it out and give them just some thoughts.
Good morning, Rivers Crossing. Come on, stand to your feet.
So, Bobby, are you post-editing your YouTube videos? That's something we've been doing. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's just watch. Are you cropping this, though, back in, like, after the fact, so it starts right at the top?
And let's go ahead and praise our God
Completely
together.
live.
Clap your hands with us right there. Wandering into the night, wanting a place to hide this weary soul, this backbone.
Cameras look great.
And I'm trying.
Something with the drummer, though. It may just be the shield. He looks more like purpley or something. It's probably just a light cue.
The night, wanting a place to hide this weary soul, this backbone.
See what I mean?
And I've tried with all my might.
I bet it's the lights going on to that drum cage. It's a great shot. Try to steady it up a little bit. Are you doing the roamer on a gimbal?
Yep.
That helped us so much when we switched to doing roamer on a gimbal, because they can do those walking shots a little bit smoother. Good shot. I really like the pacing. You're matching this high energy song. Let's see how you do. You're cutting a lot quicker on this song. It just matches what you're trying to translate in the room. Love that shot. That must be the Dana Dolly from the back of the room that you're talking about. Here we go. first initial impression on this first song. We'll fast forward to another part later. Drums sound great. Toms, love the snare sound. The only thing that I'm hearing is that I feel like his vocal is, again, that kind of just like a little on top of everything. Needs a little more verb or room mic mixed into this. Listen and see what you think.
Burden and bitterness, you can't just keep it moving. No, you ain't welcome here, yeah.
I feel like verb just got added.
Piece of gold, I sing about you, save my soul. This wayward son has found his way back. Oh.
So something that I want to point out, I don't know if I can get back to it. Let's see. Okay, see their LED screens and the way that they translate on camera, they're not overexposed. And so that's something, if you do have an LED wall, there's gonna be battles that you have on camera now that you didn't have before with projection. So they've done a good job of balancing their key light with their wall graphics and everything.
Has found his way back. You pick me up, yeah, turn me around, place my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank Savior, because you healed my heart forever. Yeah, I thank the Savior, I thank God. Father, we thank you. God, we bless you today, God. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah, God. Yeah. Hell lost another one.
Yeah, that sounds good, dude. The drums sound great. I don't know, are you guys doing any type of live sampling of those drums or in Logic? Or are you doing any vocal tuning in Logic? Interested in that kind of stuff. Let's move on to a little bit further in the service here. Oh, that vocal mic technique. Come on, bro.
I will praise you on the mountain. I will praise you in the mountains in my way. You're the
Okay.
summit where my feet are. I will praise you in the valleys all the same. No less God within the shadows. No less faithful.
What do you use for room mics?
You
You have just a couple room mics in this mix?
in the highlands and the heartache all the same.
Love that shot.
Oh, how far beneath your glory does your kindness extend the path from where your feet rest on the sunrise to where you sweep the sinners past. And oh, how fast would you come running if just a shadow me through the night? Trace my steps through all my failure and walk me out the other side.
All right, let's go forward and get the song.
My song of ascent.
Man, you've got such a big, I don't know how many people attend your church. It looks like a large group. Let's find a down spot and see if we can actually hear them singing along with those audience mics. I feel like maybe the audience mics could be like to breathe a little bit of like space into there. Everything sounds good. Your band is super solid. Camera work is great. You got great angles. The cameras look great. I like the directing. I just feel like your live stream mix is not quite there. So what I want to do is like, let's listen to this for just another moment, and then let's flip over and listen to Red Rocks.
My song of ascent.
Okay, I hear a little bit of audience there. Some applause. Let's see. Here we go. There they are. Okay. It's that tough balance for sure of like, I don't want to add too much audience stuff because I need to have clarity. Nice shot of that piano right there. I love this dolly shot, man. Can it do panning as well?
All my words fall short. I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about the lead vocals. It seems like it's just a little like too direct sounding. She's a good vocalist though. I love this song too. Man, Brandon Lake. All right, let's fast forward. Great shot. I'm noticing your vocalists are pulling off the mic a lot. And I really am a stickler about that with our people. Like, hey, it needs to be, which this is different, but, you know, it needs to be close. All right, let's just, for reference. It's good just a reference thing sometimes. You know, you get in your own space so long. So it's not, y'all's just sounds great, but something about like, it's like full, but, and I don't know how we get the sound. Like I want to have like the Red Rocks people on sometime and just talk about live stream audio. So the stereo image, I don't know, it's just full, but it's still separated. So anyways, hopefully that helps you out. I do want to peek over here real quick at your teaching time because this is something we're trying to improve.
With that verse,
you got your head to toe. Do you ever get closer follows here? There it is.
Actually did the right thing.
Do you know what kind of fluid head you're using on y'all's
character in the film?
Your big setups here.
Kayla Watts. She's the pilot of the airplane.
Looks
and she's
great.
my favorite character in the movie. She's got the best line. She's fierce. She's funny. She's brave. She has a moment with Chris Pratt, the cowboy dinosaur tamer. That's literally what he is in the movie. And eye candy. And they land on this frozen body of water, this little lake in front of the Bison headquarters.
Oh, Dustin. Yeah, I hope that maybe y'all can read my mind while I'm watching these. I don't know. Maybe I don't even need to talk. I can just show you what I'm thinking with my mind. Oh, Jonathan. Hey, thank you so much for the super chat, dude. Woohoo! Let's go. Jonathan, did you submit a live stream review? If you did, put it in the comments, and I'll make sure that I get to that one next. Okay, yeah, some good thoughts in here for you guys talking about the audio stuff, some trigger stuff. Great chat, guys. Hey, I've reviewed some very beginner live streams on here. And that's the thing is we all start somewhere, right? Like I started live streaming our services, I think 14 years ago on a service called Ustream, I think is what it was. And back then we just had a camcorder up in the balcony of this other church that I was at and just would feed the board mix into it. And it was literally just sitting there. And then whenever I came here, we didn't have anything. I didn't have any cameras or anything. So I would use my iPhone, and I would just sit the iPhone there at the back of the room on the soundboard area and just do a wide shot live stream to Facebook. So, and then from there, we just like have gradually added more and more. And we have definitely not arrived at all. But for the budget and the amount of money we've spent on it, I think ours is great. It's doing well. I want to circle back to that thing about YouTube for a second. You know, when we started their live stream video, it immediately kicked into the service. If you guys are, I think we need to be leaning into YouTube more and more and more, because as I looked this last week into our live stream, just doing some evaluation on watch viewership and watch time and different things, 81% of our viewers are watching on YouTube rather than Facebook. Right now, we're just streaming to YouTube and Facebook. Facebook is basically, we've got some older people that they figured out how to get on Facebook and find it during the pandemic, and so they've kind of stuck with it. But from the very beginning, if you ever watched my original video about live streaming, I said Facebook is not meant for live streaming. It's not meant for long form consumption. And our analytics suggest that that's still true. Our average watch time on Facebook, which this can be skewed because it's so easy just to click on and click off, is 1 minute and 30 seconds. Our average watch time on YouTube is around 16 minutes per viewer. And so the searchability of YouTube, the long term, like the way we can transform our Sunday messages into being searchable content for modern day problems that people are searching for, I think we just need to really be, as tech people, leaning into the YouTube channel and trying to do our very best with it. So sweet. Yeah, Jonathan, let me know when you finish that. And it's definitely a better platform for archiving. So I was on the Resi stream yesterday because I've heard about Resi, Living as One, what it was before, for a long time. What I've always heard is that it's just so expensive. And one thing that they do is before they give you their pricing, they make you come and do one of their little, basically like a little demo so they can sell you on it, We're not moving to Resi. I don't think most churches need Resi if you have a good, solid internet connection, and budget is an issue for you, especially if you're not multi-site. So we just use Restream to send to those two platforms via our Web Presenter HD, and we're super happy with it. It's been great. Restream offers some things that Resi doesn't offer. But where was I going with this? Oh, archiving, yeah. So Resi offers an archiving option, but it's like super expensive too. Does it scare me a little bit to only have YouTube as my archiving? A little, but we also archive our podcasts on our own website, which is just audio. So if something did ever happen and our YouTube channel got banned or weird copyright strike thing, we would still have the audio. Yeah, so I don't know how important that is for archiving, but yeah. All right, Jonathan, he says he submitted his form, so let's go find it. Should be the most recent one there. Let's delete this one so I don't accidentally review it again. All right. Bridgepoint Bible Church. 3 Blackmagic Studio HD cameras going into Blackmagic TV. Output of that goes into the TV studio. Okay. Capture card into Vimeo Livestream. This week, Boxcast was approved to fix our encoding issues. Oh, wow. You guys basically have gigabit Ethernet up and down. That'd be nice. So you got fiber. Current console is a Soundcraft SI Performer 3 aux channel going into the Blackmagic TV's built-in preamps. Oh, you're going Avantis next month. You say Avantis or Avantis? I feel like I've heard of Avantis. I don't know. Let's look at Jonathan's live stream here. So yeah, you could come back into YouTube and just chop all this stuff off at the beginning. All right. So you send an aux audio. There we go.
Good morning, church. Would you stand with us as we sing this morning, Joyful, Joyful?
Rocking that Coroplast background. Looks good.
Let's sing. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like...
Your exposure between these two cameras, like this one is a little darker. Maybe you fix that later on, but we'll keep watching. Just to match those up a little bit better.
Before the opening to the sun.
Are these the original Blackmagic cams? The ones that had trouble in low light? The Studio HDs? Yeah. I think those are the ones that are a little bit, they struggle more.
The clouds of sin and sadness drive the dark of doubt away. You're the giver of immortal gladness. Fill us with the light of day. Oh, thou art...
So if any of you guys have violinists that play in your worship bands and you have audio tips for Jonathan, throw them in the chat. I've personally never had live stream players with a band, so I've always kind of been able to not have to worry about like bleed into their microphone and is she running like direct somehow? I don't see a mic on her. It seems a little like too direct. Like usually you want that to sound a little richer, like with some reverb on it or something. Vocals could use some life in them. They sound a little muddy in like maybe the 500 hertz range. But one thing that you'll be able to do on this new digital board, I believe, is to be able to customize that a little bit for your stream mix.
Giving and forgiving ever.
So you got your drums in a cage, and that's great for your in the room. But that should allow you on your aux mix to have your drums up a little bit louder. Right now, I'm kind of hearing the drums like in there, but not like the, drums should have an impact.
Blessing ever blessed. You're the wellspring of the joy of living. Ocean depth of happy rest. Now our Father, Christ our brother, all who live in love are thine.
All right, let's go forward in the service to another spot. Sometimes like that first song is, at least in our case, sometimes we've still got guys running around doing things we're not quite ready, or we realize something in the middle of it, we have to tweak it. So let's just keep watching.
Rich wounds yet visible above, in beauty glorified. Amen. All hail, Redeemer, hail, okay. For thou hast died for me. Thy praise and glory shall not fail throughout.
So even just being able to have like that kick and snare a little bit more present. So right now I'm just hearing your vocalist really strongly, and that's probably the way it is in the room. But you need to have that a better blend, for your live mix or your live stream mix. That can get confusing. But just need to hear that kick in the snare, the foundation of these songs, that are kind of keeping everything together.
Lord, and He is the Lord. He is risen from the
There you go.
dead,
That's a good shot.
And He is Lord.
Something else that it looks like to me you're probably using like conventional ellipsoidals like Source 4 Juniors or something that have that more tungsten color temperature to them, just by the way it appears on the skin tones for me. And I've just found that adding some CTB gels to ours has helped kind of balance, you got so many LED lights going on as well. So those are very like a blue color temperature, just the LED themselves. and then you got the really warm front lights. So it ends up making skin tones look a little too orangish, which maybe that could be my TV as well. So I'll kind of peek down here.
Oh, crown him the Lord of life, who triumphed o'er.
But anyways, I prefer a white balance usually around like between 4,000 and 5,000. This may be like 3,200 Kelvin though. So that's kind of when you can get that.
The grave, and he rose victorious in the strife for those he came to save. His glories now we sing.
Your band sounds good though.
And rose on high.
And I like that your church culture, you're probably having to do these style of, like you're pulling in old songs, but kind of adding a freshness to them. So that's really nice. Let's peek a little bit further ahead, and then we're going to move on.
Oh, I need you every hour. I need you, my one defense. You're my righteousness.
Yeah, I know Bethel has a violinist usually, or not usually, they from time to time. And so you might check out some of the Bethel streams that have violinists and kind of hear how that sits in the mix. And then also I would just try to get those drums beefed up in your live stream mix if, however you can do that. So, man, just be encouraged that you're off to a good start. Like some of your framing stuff is much better than I used to have. Like you got some head to toe, you got some tight shots. You're mixing it up with different angles. If you can throw a couple other cameras that had some more interesting, like up close of instrumentalists or something like that, that'd be good. I don't like going from this shot to that shot. They're way too similar. Like have one of those be a closer up shot. Yeah. So Jonathan, I hope that helps, man. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I could see that though. Using effects and everything. That'd be cool. All right. Well. Caleb in the house with the super chat. Thank you, dude. Northgate, Alaska. Yes, I saw you guys on the Google form. So let's hop back and find your submission there. We're going to delete this one. Yeah, that's the right one. Let's see where you were at, though. What is this? What have I done? I don't need, like, the stats. I just needed to know. Okay. I screwed something up. Let's just go back to the beginning. I know I saw you on here. There you are, Northgate, Alaska. All right, Caleb. You got two Sony A6400s, the church front camera, one Sony A7 III on slider by drums. Audio is coming from the Allen & Heath through Dante and mixed in Logic. Nice. Okay. Blackmagic ATEM Studio HD to the web presenter. Livestream is run by my 17-year-old son who's doing all the switching and mixing on headphones in the room. Okay, so he's in the room doing these things. Well, so is he mixing the audio too? It says switching and mixing. So is he directing the cameras and running the audio? That'd be interesting. It'd be a lot for your son. All right, let's pull it up and see. Is this where you want me to start? Yeah. Okay. Did you say what cameras you were using? Oh yeah, the A64s. All right, here we go. So yeah, like he's got those drums in the cage and you can actually hear like they're mixed in there nicely. That's what I'm talking about with the last stream. The last stream.
Sing just the voices that last verse.
Let's see if we can hear him.
Holy, holy, Lord God Almighty.
Do you have audience mics, Caleb?
All thy works shall praise thy name in earth and sky and sea.
I hear a little buzz. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Probably like maybe the pickups on your bass. Well, he's got his hand over the strings. I hear a creaking too. Is that your drum throne? We have a creaky drum throne. Do you hear it? Okay, so you got those condensers on the
let's just fix
on the
our
stage
eyes.
front.
I want you to use your imagination. God gave it to you. To imagine the throne and imagine coming.
Yeah, I feel like I'm hearing like
before that
the
throne
drum seat creaking during these
The God
downtimes.
merciful and mighty.
All right, let's fast forward here. Good leading.
You are the one we want to see.
Am I all the way up? I am.
Guide us to your throne.
Let's go forward too. I want to hear it like kicked in here.
Come and let your presence,
Here we go.
let your presence fill our praise, fill our praise.
So I would say the overall volume of your live stream is a little bit lower than typical. So you may add like some kind of final limiter onto there in, I think you said you're doing Dante into Logic maybe? It sounds full, but I just want it to have a little bit more volume and a little bit more room maybe with those mics. You might, that front lip of the stage is hard because you end up getting so much of that, just that front row. And so with ours, we have ours up high, pointed down from right behind our PA. So you might think about that if that's a problem that you've had. Camera wise, let's watch that now.
Highest praise, highest praise. We have come to love you in this place.
Just static shot here. It's okay. A little too much headroom for my taste. Like I would bring his head, you know, lower that camera a little bit. But you got people there standing there, so I understand, you know, it's a lot of that. Just a little bit more verb on the vocals. Good playing, man. The band is tight. Yeah, that kick and bass guitar are grooving together. So no electric guitarist this day, it doesn't look like. I'm kind of missing that. Are you running tracks? Because I'm not hearing tracks. I just hear keys, pad, bass and drums, acoustic. Thank you for not making the acoustic way out front though.
Here we are, here we are. All these songs, it's all for you. Here we are, here we are.
So yeah, your A6400, your A73, they look fine. Doesn't look like you guys are doing much lighting wise to change. You got your big screen. You basically, okay, here's another shot. That's a great shot right there. Love that. You got the out of focus worshiping in the background. And then now you brought them into focus. Love that. And maybe I wouldn't stay on them that long usually. I don't know what camera that must have been the A7 III that you have side stage. And these two A6400s right here, they're not bad. They're pretty good, but it's just when you don't have anything going on with them, it can get kind of boring. It's just this shot over and over. So that's just one of the battles when you just have those static cams to go between. It's not the end of the world, but is this on a slider? Or this shot right here, I kind of would like it if it wasn't, like if I could see his face still. Maybe if it was up a little bit higher, pointed down to where you could, which I never say that. You know what I'm saying though, where this was like, you could see his face in focus and the other people out of focus. This is not bad though. It's just the focus is like on his iPad running tracks, I guess, or maybe that's monitoring. I'm not sure what that is. No tracks or click. That is me on bass. I usually play electric. Okay.
Blood and tears. How can it be that there's a God who we praise?
I mean, you guys you got the music stands going. I'm not a huge fan if you've watched my video about music stands. I just feel like I'm not opposed to having music on stage. I just don't think music stands are the best thing to use for that. If you've watched, all four of y'all are pretty glued to that music stand. And I don't think that it's because you don't know the music. It's just that when it's there, you look at it, And so even your vocalists, like, do you guys have a confidence monitor in the back that you could move lyrics and even maybe chords for your worship leader and your bass guitar or up there under that, so you're looking up. It's not the end of the world or anything. It's just a thought, right here, even like she's kind of behind that music stand, kind of glancing down at it, where I would want her out at the front, helping really lead the worship. You got a pretty engaged church, it looks like. So those are just some thoughts there. But let's jump ahead to the preaching time. We got time for one more live stream review after this. So like this shot right here, a little too much headroom. I would bring it down and bring his eyes on the upper third. Okay, you got a family coming up. That's not bad right there. Missions kind of thing. Let's see when he starts preaching. Yeah, I would just say bring that down, that shot down a little bit. It's not bad though. Okay. Well, we have time for one more live stream review. And before we do that, we're going to hit any final questions that you guys have. I saw one here about how do you display people's chat on your live stream like this? Can you explain, or do you have a tutorial on that? So I use a program that's free called H2R Graphics. You can go to heretorecord.com, and this is the paid version because it's got some other bells and whistles to it, but you do not have to pay for it. It's free. This is how we do this for this live stream. There's other services out there that offer that. If you use like Restream, you can do the same thing on there. Ecamm Live, I think, has the same options, and there's some other ways to do it through like OBS and things like that. But this is super easy. I just pull in the YouTube API, it connects it, and then I'm using an iPad here you can do the rundown over the network through just the IP. It connects, and so it's showing me your chat messages, and then I just can click on them and they'll show up on a second display out of my MacBook that's going into my ATEM Mini Extreme. And the cool thing about H2R is that it does offer key and fill. I'm actually not using that though. I'm just using the downstream keyer of my ATEM Mini Extreme and setting the clip and the gain to where it takes it out, all the black, with just the Luma key, I guess that is. And so all the graphics you can notice are just gray. They don't actually go full black, because if they were black, it would disappear. So that's the way that works. This would be something you could use in your ministry if, say, you're doing like a thing with your pastor where it's like ask the pastor, or asking for a friend, and you're doing a live stream with your pastor, and you could bring up these comments live. So that would be something interesting to do. I don't know that I would do this on a church live stream unless you're doing like a pre-show and a post-show. You could do it for that, to where like you're responding to people's comments like we're doing right here, just to be engaged with your online audience. So that's how we're doing that. There's other options out there, but I like it. H2R is pretty good. It's got these timers, and it does like the little animations with super chats and things like that. Oh, my bad. Yeah, Ernest, just shoot me a DM or something on Instagram. Joshua in the chat, working today. Just got to jump on. Why are you working on Fridays? Come on, man. Oh, Josh, you're too kind. Thank you so much. He says, thanks for your investments into the community. Josh is down in Frisco, Texas, and he's just doing the same type of stuff that we're doing, right? Trying to do tech stuff in the local church, do it the very best that we can for God's glory. And I've gotten to meet Josh, and really appreciate that. You're too kind, friend. Tyler says, take a look at Passion Church Tucson if you could. So this will be our final live stream review of the day. And since he's in the chat, we'll give it a look-see. As long as you submitted it. Passion, is that it? Passion Church Tucson. Sweet. Yeah, here we go. All right, they have 3 PTZ cameras, 1 fixed Canon EOS R 7200. That's a good cam. They run Allen & Heath SQ7 using the iPad app to mix the live stream sound. All live stream camera and sound stations are located in the sanctuary, done by volunteers with no way to move them out of house at the current moment. High-end electronic drums, in-ears for backline only, no crowd mics in use. Okay, so he wants most feedback on the audio. We'll check it out here. That one's not the full service. Here we go.
Seats and your stragglers in the lobby, we want to man.
All right, here we go.
I know. So Psalms 100, it says, shout for joy to the Lord.
That's always, it's always a tough thing whenever someone starts talking and you've got them set for verb and delay for like leading that first song singing, but you've got to have a quick access on your board for being able to take that off when people are talking, just so it's not reverby, echoey for speech.
Come on, make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Yes, worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God, that he is who made us.
So you got that kind of perch up top type look of camera here.
What an honor.
You know, looking from up high. So I'm not a fan of that, but obviously you probably know that. Here we go. Is this Be Glad? We're doing this Sunday. Drums sound pretty good. he say? So these are electronic drums, he said. Right. So your back line is using in-ears, but your front line isn't. So that makes me think, are you guys using click and tracks? And also, you can have your copyright stuff taken off after the first slide. So I would say this one for Passion Church Tucson is a little bit on the other end of the spectrum for vocals and space and reverb and all that kind of stuff. We've been talking about these other churches, Livestreams, that are pretty direct sounding, kind of on top of everything. These vocals, I might actually say they're a little bit the other way, where they might have a little bit too much wetness of the effects on them. Your E-drums sound good. He said he doesn't have any room mics, so that explains that a little bit. So here's one opinion I would have. This is a brand new song. Hopefully your sound guy listened to this song before you guys did this song, because what I'm hearing is that I'm hearing mostly the guy playing the Nord just doing, because this song is not a piano-led song. It's very drums and electric guitar kind of leading with the vocals doing the la-las and stuff. But all I'm really hearing is the chord changes of bum, bum, bum. And I can kind of hear the guitar in the background a little bit. But as sound guys, as tech guys, we need to be preparing and understanding the songs and the musicality of the songs, because whoever's running sound is your most important band member, okay? You can play everything perfectly, but if the audio guy has your fader down, then it doesn't matter, and so it's not translating the way the song should. And so hopefully you're doing that, guys, as you're preparing for Sundays. You got your cameras, are your cameras on autofocus? Because I'm seeing pulsing of the focus there. Yeah, it's actually probably just too drum heavy and not enough vocals, not enough guitar. But camera-wise, it's just like you said, you can't move the locations of the cameras. So that makes it tough. You kind of got your two sides and then a perched up higher one, it looks like maybe. That's just tough. You're doing the best you can with those locations. I'm just a fan of having them a little bit lower. So... let's just peek at your sermon time and see what it looks like. It's not bad framing right there. I like your pulpit. It's very small. All right, guys. Well, it is 12:06, And hopefully I got to all of your comments that you were asking questions about. So great to have you guys in the chat. If you'll do me a favor and just like this video, if you stuck on here for the whole time, go ahead and hit the like button. That way it kind of pushes this out to those of our fellow friends who are subscribed that maybe couldn't join us live. And if you join late, I'll try to go back and add all the timestamps into this video so you can jump around to the different either live streams or the questions, things we talked about. Enjoy getting to do these. Thank you so much to all the guys who super chatted today. I hope that you do find value in these, even if you don't submit your church's live stream. Hopefully, as we talk through other churches, we're like helping each other to do the very best we can to bring excellence as we use tech, to spread the gospel. That's what it's all about. So I appreciate you guys hopping on the live stream, and I've got some really cool videos planned. Yesterday did a tech tour of a great church that's here local, and so I'll be throwing that together. I've got some other really cool budget key lights that are moving headlights that we've been testing for the last 2 months that I'll be sharing with you guys that are really, really good options that we've been loving. So other great things down in the pipeline. If you haven't subscribed, make sure and do that. And I don't know, do you hit the bell? I don't think I've ever hit the bell on anybody's YouTube channel. Like that's like a notification thing. But if that's your thing, go for it. Do that so you don't miss any videos. But I appreciate you guys. Hope that you have an awesome weekend at your churches, that God does great things and that he gets the glory. So we will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.